Hello everyone, welcome back to the Ritual Flow. For today's reading, we're doing a weekly reading for the week of April 22nd through April 28th. So this is a general reading. Please keep that in mind. Not everything will resonate with everyone. Don't try to force a message to fit if it's not matching your energy and your situation. And this reading is timeless as well. So whenever you're seeing this, it's the right time for you to receive it, regardless of when that is. So if you're seeing this at a later time, that's just an indicator that now is a better time for you to be hearing this. Okay. Well, that's interesting. My moon candle already went out. There is this experience of emotionality present here, like the internal landscape of what's going on with you is really important, more so than the external focus. There's a change happening for you. This is coming right after the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. That's signifying some big changes taking place for people. So if you haven't watched that reading yet, go check it out. And what you're being asked to be aware of here this week is that you have some of this internal work to do. You have some changes to make to your inner landscape, like how you're addressing your emotions and how you're processing things. There may be some things that need to come up to be processed. And this is giving some reassurance that you have all of the skills and tools to do this work. Emotions can be a very difficult thing to deal with. People have a habit of suppressing them or like pushing away difficult emotions. And when we do that, it doesn't make them go away. It just sets them aside in your body and your mind and lets them build up. The more you do that, the more it builds up. And it's like sort of like putting them in the bank, like saving them for later. They will come up to be dealt with at another time, whether that's by your choosing or whether spirit presses that upon you if it's been too long and something really needs to be addressed and faced. So there's some reassurance here that you have the capacity and whatever it takes to approach this, to face this internal work for yourself and to bring yourself to a place of deeper emotional stability. So what you're suggested to do at this time is to stay strong, to support yourself in whatever way feels right to you. And there's a message here about setting some boundaries. This could take a lot of forms for different people. This could be setting some boundaries with like people in your life, with like your work, your organizations. Like if something is stressing you out and running you down, to make some boundaries with that, to create some safe, comfortable space for you to process your feelings and sort of, take a step back from any other entity in your life that may be interfering with that or weighing on that, making that more difficult for you. There's a suggestion here that like you are very resilient and there's a need to lean into that resilience at this time to There's a message here about like thinking back to all of the hard things that you've been through and that you've overcome thus far, and like hold that in mind. Like the mantra, I can do hard things, is coming up as well. That may be a good one to tell yourself while you're moving through this energy. And sort of, this feels like an experience of cleaning house, but like within yourself, within your psyche, within your spirit, to give yourself a more peaceful environment to live in from the inside out. What you're being asked to release here is some burdens that you're carrying. For a lot of you, this feels like an emotional burden that you've been carrying. There could be some like residual, like pain, sadness, anger, resentment, that you maybe have been holding on to from past experiences, that it's time to set those down, to sort of like go through and take stock and sort things out with that, so that you can release those feelings and move on from them, to feel freed. And there's also the word demands is on this card, and overload as well. So I'm getting a big message here that like if something to do with your work or like household demands is like creating unnecessary stress in your life, that may be an additional focus where you need to take some time, like set that stuff aside. If you have some vacation time or the ability to take some time off work, that may be good for you to take a little, like a self-care vacation in a way. Or, if you've been very hard on yourself about keeping up with things around the house, and it's been putting you in this position where you haven't really had time to care for yourself because you're caring for the house, caring for the family, it's time to make some arrangements to have someone like help and support you in those things for a time. Or, if it's stuff around the house, like, let it go for a little while. If you can take like a couple hours to yourself to not busy yourself with like other tasks, to just sit with yourself and tend to your well-being. If you can take a couple of days to do that, even better. But work with what you have, with what you feel comfortable with, and, maybe start with a little bit at a time. Take like an hour for yourself that's like truly just for you, where you're not worrying about anyone or anything else, and do something that's just for you, that brings a sense of fulfillment and nurturing to you. This has to do with like setting these boundaries. It's like you haven't been taking enough time and space for yourself and your own emotional well-being. And it's like the message here is like, now is the time to do that. And like to not make any more excuses or like come up with reasons why you can't take time for yourself. Like, start telling yourself how important it is for you to have that time. Because if you don't take that time, it causes this experience of burnout and this ongoing stress that's very taxing on your body and your health. So this is a request from Spirit, like a reminder to carve out and like make space for yourself. If you can get 5 minutes in the morning when you wake up, or like before the kids wake up, to meditate. Or if you're not a morning person, like make that space after your children go to bed, or after your partner has gone to bed. Like, whatever you have to do to just make a little bit of space for you. And then from there, like when you see the benefits and can appreciate making that space for yourself, allow it to grow. Like move it to 10 minutes from 5. It's going to be different for everyone, but it's important to do something to take that first step towards making that space for yourself. It's like there's a need here to make you more of a priority in your own life. And not just like the external trappings of you, but like the real you, your spirit, like this internal experience of yourself is what's needing attention and care and a little bit of space that's just for that. There's a message here. You may be feeling conflicted about something. You may be experiencing some conflict, some loss, some other like upheaval in your life that's stressing you out. That may be one thing you need to like set a boundary for yourself. Like, yeah, all this stuff is going on in my life and it really stresses me out. But like, I'm going to take these 5 minutes and set all that aside just temporarily and not worry about that and like give yourself some peace. There's a message here, like specifically, there may be some issues surrounding money that are like causing some upset in your life at the moment. There can be other things as well, but that's something that's particularly coming out here. Also, like this experience of like worrying about like don't let it stress you out to make time for yourself. Like there's a need to like change perspective, like shift the way that you're looking at things. To think of like making this time for yourself as like less of like one more thing to like do or like add to the list. Like look at it more as like a reprieve from your to-do list. There's also something here that like when you make this space for yourself, there's a suggestion here that like you may have some ideas about some like new ways to make money, which would help alleviate some of the struggles that you may be having with that, if that is something that you're struggling with right now. That like there are you're being asked to take a look at what your talents and skills really are, because there's something that you can do with them that you haven't been doing that it like can be very positive and lucrative for you, and not just for the money that it brings and the security and relief and reassurance that can bring from the external perspective, but like how using those talents and skills can be a source of like fueling a channel for emotional fulfillment for you, for like feeling better about yourself and where you're at in your life, because you're going to receive some like positive input, some positive response back from what you have to offer to others. And I'm also getting this message that some of you may, be telling yourself that like you don't really have any special skills or don't really have any special talents or something like that. And it's like, but like you do, everyone does. And you may just need to take this time alone to sit with yourself and be positive with yourself, to like look at a brighter side of things, not repeat yourself that you don't have talents and skills, but to open yourself up to like believing that you do, and getting curious about what they are and what they might be. And that process is really going to help you with feeling in a better space emotionally, feeling a little more confident, more like things are under control in your emotional sphere. Yeah, like with the message that came through, it's like you when you make this space for yourself, it's like you're going to have some sudden realization about like something that you can do that's actually really special. That's not something that everyone can do, or that not everyone does well, but it's an interest of yours, or just something that comes naturally to you. Maybe you don't think about it much. Maybe that's why you don't recognize it as a talent or skill. But you know, there are other people in the world who are not as good as that, or it doesn't come naturally to them, that they struggle with it. And you know, you haven't seen that because you're in this mindset of like telling yourself that there's nothing special about it. But we all have things that we're good at and that are special and unique to us. And, you know, that's not to say, like, if you look at yourself and think that, well, you know, I can do this, but a bunch of other people can do it too. Yeah, okay, but a bunch of other people can't, or don't do it well, don't feel as comfortable with it as you do. And there's something to that. And you might not be the only one. Like, not many of us are doing things that are so unique to us and special to us that like we're literally the only person on the planet that can do it. And that would probably feel like more of a burden to bear if we were. But there's something that you can do, that you do really well, that you haven't given yourself enough credit for. And it's very important for you to notice that and pay attention to that at this time, because it's going to create some change for you, a change within you when you approach it from a different mindset. Like, you're being asked to have this new beginning, to like in this cycle of feeling like, I'm getting like a feeling of unworthiness, or like not being good enough in some way. To like sort of work towards putting that negative self-talk to rest, and getting curious about the places in your life where you do feel good enough, where things do work out and that you can feel positive about them, and like sort of let that have a snowball effect and like build on it, because that's going to lead to this shift within you and your mindset, to where you can have this new beginning, pursuing something that makes you feel good and offers you some like material rewards as well. All right, hold on. I dropped some cards trying to pick them up. We're going to clarify this energy to see if there's something more they would like to add about this. We'll start with the King of Cups and Eight of Pentacles. The Fool, yeah. You're definitely ready for a new beginning. A new beginning in how you feel. And something about that has to do with like what you're doing, how you're spending your time, how you're taking care of yourself. And something about that may feel like a little bit risky. And it's just because you're not used to it. Like, it is something new. It may feel a little uncomfortable at first. Like, if you're used to like doing things for other people all day and not taking time for yourself, like it may feel a little uncomfortable to like sit and take 5 minutes just for you. Like I'm getting that you may experience feelings of guilt for doing that, because like that's time you could be like doing something else. But it's time for you to recognize and understand the importance of filling your own cup up, and like how necessary it is to care for yourself, because that creates this positive feedback energy that allows you to feel more capable and more like solid and emotionally stable in the things that you do for others. So, like, because if you're constantly doing and not tending to yourself, like, that leaves you feeling stressed and worn out all of the time. And you can alleviate that by facing the discomfort of any guilt that you feel, or any concern about like not knowing what to do to yourself, like during your me time, do with yourself during your me time. And those are, if that comes up for you, those are important things for you to face and just sit with it. Even if you're just like initially sitting in silence by yourself for that 5 minutes, like puzzling about why this is so hard for you, or what it is that like you could do that would be helpful to you, or like make you feel better. It's important to move through that energy, to start to appreciate and see the benefit, like the relief that you can feel of any sort of stress that you've been under, by giving some of your energy and attention and focus to yourself rather than everything around you. And this is something that you have to choose to do. This is something that you have to sort of set a marker, like starting tomorrow, or like starting next Sunday, I'm going to start doing this for myself, because I'm tired of like living in this like overloaded state, feeling like things are scattered and that you're not like achieving things you would like to achieve. I'm getting this experience of like someone constantly setting some sort of like goal or aspiration, ideas they might have that might come to them like on the back burner because, they've got this other stuff to do. But it's like you need to give time and space to both. Yeah, my ears ringing out. Confirmation. That's very important. So what this is going to do for you is like align you with what is meaningful to you. Because it's like, if you're feeling overworked and stressed out by like trying to meet all of the demands of your life and it feels like you're carrying a burden, then that's an indicator that doing that with your time, it's not sustainable for you, and it's not aligned with your true like core priorities and values. That there's something missing there, and you need to like pull back some of the energy from things that are not for and about you, and start giving some of that energy to things that are just like for and about you and what's meaningful to you. And for some of you, I have to say here, for some of you, that may mean like giving more time and like spending more quality time with your partner. Like if you're running around like working all the time, or like running around like chasing your children all day, like, and it's not leaving you time, not just for yourself, but like to spend like with your partner. Because like when we're in this sort of lover's partnership, like it's truly, you're with someone who feels like an extension of yourself. And so in spending time with that person, like it feeds you, it nourishes you and gives back to you. And if you haven't been getting that time, it's time to make a choice to like reclaim and take some of that time back for yourself and your partner, and they will benefit from that too. Because if you've been missing that because of what's going on in your personal life from your personal perspective, it's quite likely that, even if everything else is going well from your partner's personal perspective, that's something that they're missing and lacking too, and would be beneficial for them to have more of. Let's look at the Nine of Wands. Okay. Yeah. Whoa, I dropped it. Hold on. These cards are very slippery today. We've got the Eight of Swords and Seven of Swords. So the ways in which you've been holding yourself back are self-imposed. It's you that have been making these choices, these are both swords, like this talk in your head about telling yourself you don't have time for this, you don't have time for that. It's like, we have time for whatever we want to make time for. And if there's something in your life that you're doing that's feels like it's sucking all of your time, that's something you need to reflect on and take a look at. Look at what it's giving back to you for how much energy you're giving to it, and address some sort of imbalance there. That's where this boundary needs to be set. And to stop this behavior, this mindset of keeping yourself from setting that boundary, because you're telling yourself these stories that you have to do this and you have to do that. It's shift your language to what you can do instead of what you have to do. Because you can do anything you want in your life. It's now some of the things that you choose to do may have some consequences. So there's some practical considerations here. I'm not saying that your bills are stressing you out. So it's yeah, you can choose to not pay them, but in the long run, that's really going to exacerbate your level of stress rather than relieve it. It's there's some realities that you can't ignore, but you can choose to shift how you're thinking about them and how you're dealing with those realities. Shifting the mindset of thinking you don't have to pay your bills, but you can pay them. You have the opportunity to pay them. You can pay for the power in your house, and it gives you, light and water, and you can wash your clothes. You can have clean clothes, and all of these things that you can do and provide for yourself, that they seem so simple on the surface that they can be overlooked a lot of the time. But when you take that step back and really look at those in greater detail, there's a lot that you can do for yourself. And it may feel like an obligation, but as long as you're holding yourself in the mindset of it being an obligation and a burden, it's going to feel like one. There's a strong message here about shifting that, flipping that script to where you are, instead of feeling like burdened and weighed down by having to do these things, think about how you get to do these things. You have the freedom and opportunity to provide these things for yourself and your family, and to give yourself space to feel grateful and appreciative that you can choose to make a more comfortable life for yourself and the people that you care about. You have been deceiving yourself in some ways. I think I mentioned earlier about deceiving yourself, about telling yourself you don't have skills and talents that amount to anything. That's a way in which you've been deceiving yourself. And also in thinking that you don't have time for things that are more important to you. It's things are important to you and things are not important to you. And it's a choice that you make about how much time you spend on things that are important to you versus those that aren't. Some things aren't as important to us, but we have to spend some time doing them. But if we're not careful, those things can suck and consume all of our time and energy, where we don't have enough left for the things we care about. But we can change that. We can always change that, because you're in control. of your own experience, your own body, the decisions you make, the actions you take, and you can choose to shift that energy and that focus. And that's what you're being called to do here, is to shift your mental boundaries that you have in place or that you've made for yourself. It's sort of like moving a goalpost for yourself, like, because where you've had the goalpost, you've been selling yourself short. And in this case, it's it's a form of like raising the bar for yourself, and that can sound kind of intimidating, like it's going to like add to the burden. But in this respect, when you shift your mindset, in raising the bar for yourself, it doesn't feel like extra work and a burden when you're doing things that feed back to you and that you truly care about. It can be a source of extra energy and motivation and inspiration when you put that energy into things that matter more to you. All right, let's look at the Ten of Wands. Yeah, talking about stress, we got the Ten of Swords out here. You've really been betraying yourself in a manner of speaking. It's like this mental aspect is so heavy. Like in those taking 5 minutes for yourself, like listen to your thoughts, listen to the things that you're telling yourself, and see if that's the advice you would give or the things that you would tell to someone that you like really love and care about. And that's going to show you that the ways in which you haven't been caring for yourself. Yeah, this is a change that needs to take place. So like no longer like structuring things and like setting yourself up to feel like you're betraying yourself. Like be and like step into this space of being cooperative with yourself, rather than focusing on things that feel like a lack, like a loss, like crises in your life, things that make you feel defeated, to like focus on what you feel you can celebrate, that brings a sense of gratitude and appreciation to your life. Because this is how you like rewire your mind and shift your focus to having a different outlook, a different perspective. And when you have that more honest and truthful perspective, that's when you realize like, wow, like the way I've been talking to myself and pushing myself, it's really not kind, and it's not. That's not how I would talk to and approach someone else. So like, why am I doing that to myself? And when you sort of have that realization, like that sort of comes full circle for you, that it makes it easier to choose a different path, to choose a different mindset, to close out this cycle of, yeah, we got 2 tens, to close out this cycle of like creating or like perpetuating this stress in your mind because of the way you're thinking about the things that you do, the things you experience in your life. All right, let's look at the 5 of Swords and Page of Pentacles. Yeah. 2 of Pentacles. I saw this on my mind earlier. I didn't say anything about it, but like that's when I mentioned something about balancing your priorities. Like paying attention to what things you're focusing on and moving some of that energy from like the things that you don't value as much or don't care about as much, like not putting so much time and effort and energy into those things, and shifting some of that to things that are meaningful to you. Because when you put a bunch of energy into things that don't mean as much to you or aren't really important to you, they don't bring you joy or anything like that, like that creates this draining energy that is happening here in the with all these like 10 of Wands and 10 of Swords. And when you shift that focus to something that, like, putting more energy into something that like is deeply meaningful to you and like breathes life back into you, like it heals you in a way. And that's what you're needing here, is to like think about what truly is meaningful to you, to get curious about that, to get more in touch with that, so that you can put more focus on those things. This is going to allow you to grow and step into this space of feeling more abundant, like feeling like everything is where it should be, everything's more under control, right? Not like you're scrambling to keep things together. It's this energy of like flowing with things, getting more clear on what things to like let go and what things to give that effort and energy to, that emotional energy, as well as physical. And there's also something here about like your creativity, and it's no mistake this came on the Page of Pentacles, where I was talking about like skills and talents that you're going to tap into when you look at what you enjoy, what you're good at, what you like, what means something to you. Like when you put energy into that and like feed that, it grows and expands, and you feel more creative. You feel more in touch with like what you're capable of. And that's a big thing you're learning a lesson about, is like how capable you are, and about how seeing the evidence, seeing the results of how you create your own reality, because you've been perpetuating this sense of like stress and burden by holding this existing thought pattern about how things are, and like telling yourself, well, this is how things have to be, instead of believing that like things can be different, like and things can be different for you. There's like, you can make a change in your life of any kind at any point that you want to. There may be some other factors and obstacles to navigate, but like you can face that as well. You have the power to create whatever kind of life you want to live in, regardless of like what the existing circumstances are. Like, but you have to believe in your own power and exert that will. And you have been struggling to do that, more recently, because you've been believing and buying into these like stories that your ego tells the rest of yourself about how, you can't do this, or like you have to do that, or you don't have time for this. When those are just stories, that's not true. If you want more time for something, put your focus there and give it the time. Whatever you have to do to make that work for you, the rewards and benefits will ultimately outweigh any sort of risk or threat that you feel of like changing your routine, changing your approach, changing the way you're thinking about it, and what you're doing, like how you're spending your time is important to consider here. Like it may be helpful too, like in taking some time to yourself to like really sit and think about like go through a typical day, or like think about the week before, and like go through every day that week and think about like what you did, how you spent your time. how much of it was doing something that feels like an obligation, something you're telling yourself that you have to do, but that doesn't bring you any sort of joy or fulfillment, and versus how much time you spent doing things that like make you feel good and bring something positive back into your life rather than draining all of that positivity out. All right, let's take a couple of oracle cards to see what else they might like to add or share with us. Yeah, I saw that before I started the reading. That's funny, that jumped out. So reveal what needs to be seen. Yeah, like there's some stuff about your life and how you've been thinking about it that you've sort of been hiding from yourself in a way. Yeah, we have attune to the divine, assess the situation, and release control. Those three came out together. That's interesting. They're all similarly colored. Yeah, like I was saying, assess the situation, like sit down and consider, think about how you're spending your time and how it's serving you, how ways in which certain ways of spending your time is like draining you and making you feel stressed, and other things that you might be doing that help alleviate some of that stress, that feel like a reprieve from it. There's like getting a baseline of like where you're at and what's going on is going to inform you to help you see what changes are going to be best for you to make, because like everyone's life looks different, and we've got different things that we're dealing with, things that we do, things that we like. So that will help you see what you need to see, like where the imbalance is, and what changes, like they give you some suggestions of what changes to make that will help things begin to feel better. And taking this sort of like internal focus and reflection is going to allow you to tap in with your spirit, to like stop being scattered with all this external things, to it's this energy of like coming back home to yourself, and yourself like is divine. And when you do that, like that puts you in a space of attuning to the other parts of divinity that exist in our existence. And that also sort of like it connects you with your intuition and allows you to be guided more in this flowing way, so that like it feels more natural, more obvious. Like you don't have to like puzzle about it or worry about it or like involve all these things that like deal with worry. It's like you'll feel called and feel like it's this like inner knowing of knowing it's right to like spend your time doing something than like something that feels wrong, that feels like overly, I don't know, like not combative, but like you're fighting against the current. Like this like taking a step back and like taking a look at how things are, it's going to like show you what the current is, so that you can be guided to flow with it, rather than what you've been doing, which feels very much like fighting against it. It's like you've been trying to like control things and like steer this ship in a particular way. And that's what's causing you stress, because like spirit is telling you that your ship, your boat needs to go another way. And like really surrendering to that, like releasing that control, because that's a big aspect of control. Like you've been controlling like your focus and your mindset with these stories that you tell yourself about, like, this is what I have to do, and this is what, I don't have time for this. And this go for it. Like I'm really getting this experience of like there's something to do with like a talent or skill that you have that you haven't been spending time doing, you haven't been like investing in, because you keep telling yourself that all these other things in your life are more important. And spirit is here to tell you that thing you've been avoiding, the thing you've been putting on the back burner that like really means something to you and calls to your spirit, that like it's time to give it some time. It's time to give it some energy. Like to not allow yourself to keep making excuses about why you can't put focus on that. And to, you have to deal with your regular day-to-day life, but you can't put all your focus on it maybe. But like it's almost this like black or white thinking, this all or nothing mentality. It's like, because you haven't been able to put all your focus on something like that, you haven't been putting any focus on it. And it's like, there's this call to like sort of like split the difference somehow. And it's up to you what's going to work for your life, your current circumstances and situation of how to do that. Maybe it's like 95% of your life is still stuff that's like basic survival and like normal life things, and the other 5% is all you have right now to devote to like the stuff that inspires you and like gets your creative juices flowing and like makes you feel good to do those activities. Maybe others of you might be able to make some shifts when you really assess the situation to make it more 50-50. It's just, we all have different circumstances, and finding what's going to work for you that allows you to put something, it could be 99% other stuff and only starting out with 1% towards that. But that 1% is important. 1% of your time and energy going to something new is different than what you've been doing, and that's enough to get you started and sort of like get this ball rolling. I'm like seeing the snowball like building up and like becoming something bigger over time. So there also may be some self-limiting beliefs about yourself, like feeling like you're not good enough at whatever the skill is to like make something of it. But like that's just a false belief that you're telling yourself. You are. Or maybe you're not as good as you would like to be, and it's because you haven't been spending the time and energy and effort at all on that. And if you start spending a little bit, like you'll get better and better at it and feel more comfortable and confident. Like the major advice here is to like go for whatever that is, to do it, to make this change, to like start this new procedure, this new process of thinking, these new activities in your life, how you're spending your time and energy to bring things into more of a balance, and to really get something started that hasn't been getting attention, that's going to have big rewards for you. And it's like I'm getting like you'll like immediately see the difference once you allow yourself, stop holding yourself back and allow yourself to really like turn toward a new direction. Okay, so if this reading resonated, give it a like, comment down below, share it with someone, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for letting me read for you. I hope this has been helpful. If you are interested in a personal reading of any kind, you can see how to do that below. And I will see you later. Bye.